Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you, another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks. Sampler V series videos I've been doing for a little while now. Go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat the stuff, I drink stuff, then, folks, I'm going to talk about the stuff. I'm going to let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff that time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not going to lie. I'm so full. I'm just full of rice and meats and delicious stuff. But we'll get to that. Folks, it's super simple format. I'm going to go over there, I'm going to try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm going to yammer on about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm inside my truck, and whilst I'm doing all that, I'm wearing a super cool shirt. Folks, when I wear a super cool shirt, I always like to highlight the super cool shirt. What super cool shirt am I wearing for you today, though? Happens to be my boom Space of Variation shirt, which really love the design, but what the hell is Space of Variation? So Space of Variation, they're kind of an electronic metal band that I became aware of, maybe around 2 years ago or so, something like that. They were on tour with a band that I absolutely love called Ginger. Both bands are actually out of the Ukraine. And it was a really phenomenal show, like that genuinely, and it was cool too, because that was like the final show I went to that year, so it was a great way to cap it off. And Ginger was phenomenal, but so were Space Variations. Like, they put on an absolutely fantastic performance. They really connected with the audience, especially since the whole Ukrainian conflict was still a relatively new thing at that time. Obviously, we're still dealing with it now. Personally, it's just me, and I don't usually get too political, but I do stand with the Ukraine. I think that, it's a tragedy what the hell is going on with that whole thing, and that we're still dealing with it these years later. But that said, I think these guys are great. They put on a fantastic show, so much so I actually got videos of their performance I attended. Those videos are on my channel. If nothing else, you happen to be interested in all, I'd be more than happy to point you in the right direction as far as their music goes, because I do think they're incredible. But anyway, what am I trying for you today, folks? What are we doing here? Well, I'm reviewing this one in no small part because I feel like I kind of had to. Like, as soon as I saw it, I was like, well, okay, I have to. Despite the fact that I personally have no real connection to it. But what is it? What am I reviewing for you, folks? It happens to be, boom, from Jones Special Release Beverages. This is their Nuka Victory Cola. Or is it just Nuka Cola and then it just says Victory? I don't know. I'll have to look it up when I do the thing. If that level of ignorance is, to be expounded upon, yeah, I don't really know dick when it comes to the Fallout series. Never really got into it. I wasn't into, PC games growing up. So when one of my friends kind of suggested to me Fallout 2, it was just a little bit too slow. I was used to, console games and stuff like that. Obviously, Fallout has gone on and, become this huge thing, and I think that's fantastic. The lore seems really interesting, but I've only ever played a little bit of Fallout 3. But it's the Nuka Cola, it's a whole thing, so sure. Let's get a thing for the thing here. It looks like maybe it'll be a little bit better there. Yeah, I think so. We'll just kind of ha 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 ha. And yeah, I like Jones Cola, or Jones Soda. I've reviewed some stuff from them. But yeah, I have no base for what this is supposed to taste like, or I just know it's it's part of the whole thing. Smells a little bit fruity. Let's give it a go. Ooh, very fruity. Kind of like a maybe a strawberry vibe, or a very muted grapefruit. My initial thought was strawberry, but some of the flavors that are coming through are a little bit more reminiscent of grapefruit, but without the harshness, that overly tart aspect. That's really interesting. Of course, it's entirely possible it's just a blend of flavors. That's really tasty, though, I have to say that. I do have to mention, though, okay, it's not entirely show accurate because the best before date is April 13th, 2026. And if I've been led to believe anything about, the future of Fallout, is that, the stuff lasts significantly longer or some shit vaults things. Yeah, that's really good. I wonder if it, okay. Yeah, just as natural flavors. I was like, maybe it'll have like a specific flavor, but I didn't think so. No, that's really good. I don't know. I don't know exactly what the definition of a cola is for it to be a cola, and I know in some instances cola can be sort of, you know, it can be sort of a catch-all term for different types of sodas and stuff like that. Uh, but obviously when I think cola, I think more like, Pepsi or Coke. But then there's also like other variations, like you see in like, a lot of like in Mexico or like south of the American border, or well, the United States border, where you have like cola champagnes and stuff like that. So like, I don't know exactly where that falls, but I will say this doesn't taste anything like Coke or Pepsi. It doesn't taste like that type of cola. It's definitely much closer to, again, like a cola champagne, something you would see from like Mexico or maybe South America. But although it is definitely a sweet cola, um, it doesn't have sort of the bubble gumminess that I found that a lot of those like cola champagnes do. Not all of them, but this actually reminds me, probably thing I can think of closest to it. I did like a strawberry soda review, but it was like from somewhere in South America. I can't remember. I can't even remember the name of the brand off the top of my head. But that kind of reminds me a little bit of this. Some similar notes. It is sweet. It is fruity. There is a little bit of tartness to it, which is nice. It catches kind of at the end, so you get a little bit of contrast. So it's not just sweet, because otherwise it's definitely a very sweet cola. But again, not in that same sort of almost bubblegummy taste that you get sometimes with like some of the cola champagnes. It drinks really nice. I mean, Jones Cola, they do a good job. Uh, they're not like my favorite soda company, but like I typically enjoy their stuff. I've reviewed plenty of their stuff in the past. Um, so yeah, I mean, I don't know how they, obviously they had some sort of a branding deal with the Fallout thing, and they got the opportunity to do this. And I mean, I think that's cool. I like when companies do like tie-in stuff like that, especially for, products that are fun for the fans. But if the product sucks, that's where you have a problem. But that's definitely not the case here. Like, this is genuinely really tasty and good. Not only by like a tie-in standards, but honestly even by like a Jones Soda standards. Like, I can honestly say I think I kind of prefer this over some of their other flavors that they put out. I like this quite a bit. But that's really nice. Refreshing tasting. Two questions have to be asked. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? Yes and yes. I think absolutely. About the only thing that is a little bit prohibitive for me. So I got this when I went out to a specialty soda shop called Rocket Fizz Soda. There's a few locations in Illinois. I went to the St. Charles one for this. Not with the intention of buying this, mind you. I knew it was a thing, but I wasn't looking for it. But they did still have cases of it available. But I think it was like $3.99 a bottle or something like that. Like, it was like way more expensive than most of the other sodas. So I don't think I would go over there and pick up like a 6-pack of these at that rate. But I could see grabbing one every now and again, especially after the nuclear fallout and all the things and the mutants and all that stuff, and this guy, right? That's a thing with the Fallout. I do know a little bit more about Fallout than I'm letting on, but not a lot. Whoa, okay. Oh man, that was a lot of rice and spiced meats and Nuka Cola. But yeah, I would get that again. I think that's really good. I think Jones Cola, I don't know how accurate it is to the show, but I do think it's really tasty. It's a good soda. If I'm recommending it, I mean, look, if you're a fan of the franchise, I think, this is something you can kind of hang your hat on. I have had plenty of instances in my lives where there have been tie-in products for one thing or another where the branding was just whatever it was. I reviewed some Mortal Kombat energy drinks last year, the time I'm doing this. And yeah, those were ass, those were just generic energy drinks with some stupid branding on them. I still bought them because I think Mortal Kombat's cool. But this, I don't feel is that. Like, I feel like Jones Soda put in some genuine effort to go over there and come out with a nice soda. And so, again, if you're a fan of the franchise, I don't think there's any reason to not tag in on this one. Again, the price is a little bit high, but nothing crazy. And, I think that if you're just an average soda goer, maybe like me, where you just, you happen to be in a specialty shop, or, maybe for whatever reason they just have it wherever you're at, it's a nice soda. Outside of any of the branding or the Fallout stuff, it's just genuinely tasty and good. So I do think I'd recommend it. But anyway, 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of your week, monumental rest of your month, stupendous rest of your year. Folks, go over there, so it's a truly Fallout-tastic rest of your life, except for Fallout 4, because I've heard New Vegas is supposed to be better, but then obviously there are Fallout 4 fans who defend it. And then there was also that, like, quasi-spiritual successor game that I can't remember the name of, but, like, a couple of my friends were really into. I don't know. Two things, folks. Number 1, try to bring some positivity into the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what you do can do all the time. I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Now, folks, not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. Life can be stressful and frustrating and just bullshit sometimes, folks. And when we find ourselves in situations where we have to deal with said bullshit, it's important we go over there whenever possible. Take a step back. Try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives. Hopefully, do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, what's your personal opinion on the Fallout stuff? Obviously, the series has been really successful. I've seen an occasional clip here and there. I don't have anything to go off of, but, I know it's a thing. And like I said, I never got into the franchise. My one friend Drew, he was big into it, and he tried to get me to play number 2, and he even lent it to me for a while. But again, like, just the PC games at that point were, like, just so slow for what I was used to, and I just couldn't get along with it. But, like, now, being older and everything, I think that I'd probably really, really enjoy those games. But then, obviously, they took on the first-person mode, and, it's very different now, so. But let me know what your personal thoughts on that are. Anyway.